Hi, it's Nancy welcoming you to Garden Scroll. I did get my little impatiens that I'd had here, and they died out, and I've got them replaced, and so far they're looking good, so that's great. I just wish I didn't have to replace them in the first place, but that happens sometimes. I fixed up this little pot of strawberry fields that came up volunteer for my daughter, and I gave one to my friend Susie this week, and I think they're going to enjoy these. And I told you that these little impatiens would probably come up above the little brick that she was on, and she would look like she's sitting on a mound of impatiens, and that has proven true. And I may just need to climb over in here so that I can turn this little plant around so that you can see that pretty bloom. So there you go. It's just a little bit of a double bloom. My pretty lace cap hydrangea is looking great today also. I'm still in the process of changing out all the old cocoa liner pots into just some regular pots. And I'm thinking that I may put some more of this catmint into some more pots to put in the back. My sister Rose and I pulled up several of the little starts that were coming up from her hibiscus that I gave her, the Lord Baltimore, and then I lost mine. It actually got choked out by a Indian blanket flower, which I was so shocked and surprised that that happened, but they just come up so much sooner than these little hibiscus, and these were too small to make it through before I realized what was happening. But I put several here that we got together, and this is the only one that has made it so far, and I hope it just keeps on going and going until it builds me a whole new Lord Baltimore hibiscus bush, and I think it will if nothing happens to it. Nothing but growth and good things. This is another little pot that I changed the cocoa liner out of and just put a regular pot in. But I did notice that it's quite a bit heavier, and I put the same flowers back in it and some lighter soil. I don't know why it's causing it to do that, but as long as it can handle it right there, that'll be fine too, if it doesn't keep going downward. The red lilies are still looking great. And this is where I'm thinking about putting some more of that catmint in a pot. It has a volunteer zinnia and some of the tall verbena, but I don't think I really want those here, so I think I might just put a catmint here, and I'm thinking it might be best in this little pot right over here too, although I would want to set it up on a plant stand like this so that you'll get the full effect of it and won't have to be looking down to see it. And I'm thinking that I can maybe get rid of all this larkspur, which even though it's beautiful, it will just put down, it will more than double how many comes up each year by the seed it puts down, and I just don't think I can keep up with that, nor do I want to try. So I think I may pull this all up. If I get it up before it all goes to seed, which hopefully I will. Either way, I'm sure I should get it up because it's better that a little of it go to seed than all of it does. But I think I can still, it will be a lighter blue, but I think the blue, and then I have a blue balloon flower over here, and also a pretty orange spider daylily. That the two colors look really good together, the purplish blue and the bright orange. And I'm seeing that I'm getting some bloom bugs now. I think these are also a cucumber beetle, but the ones I had the most trouble with last year I haven't seen, but I hope this is not a prelude to them coming. And I came over on the other side so you can see the orange spider daylily. It's already budding out. It'll soon be in gorgeous extra large bloom. And my sugar shack button bush is blooming. They don't stay in bloom very long, but they sure are pretty when they are, with that little white ball as its bloom. I'm thinking that this little bouncing Betty that I have in this pot, I put it in a pot so it wouldn't get just absolutely everywhere, but I'm pretty sure I had to have a battery change. But I was saying that I think these little plants may be this bouncing Betty plant, and that it either put seeds down or somehow escaped from its little pot that I've got there to try to keep it from doing that. But I'll probably pull these up. I do want to keep the ones in the pot though. I did get our evergreen tree sprayed for bagworms before we got rain, so I think hopefully anyway it will make a difference. And also have to spray the willow trees, both the weeping willow and this taller willow, or just straight up willow that doesn't have the hang down branches. And I have a small abortive bush right here that I have to watch out for and be sure and spray it, because it can also get bagworms. And I was going really strong working in the garden, and then we had to take off for other things. This has been actually a very busy week for me and for my husband. Look at this. This is I call it velvet. It looks like velvet. Such a pretty daylily. I may try to get a piece of this and start it in another place, so I'll have at least 2 of them. And I did not get all the dead blooms cut off of my roses or my peonies on the back. Actually, even some around here. This one right here still needs to be cut. All that seed heads cut off of it. But my husband and we have just been running around. My sister-in-law had a 50th birthday party, and we did go to it. But even that same day, we also looked for a different vehicle. So it took us a few days, but we ended up getting a different vehicle, which we needed. It's kind of hard to let my other little one go. She was so reliable, and she just kept going and going. But I'm hoping that our other car, the car we have now, will do the same. And today I have been clipping back larkspur. It's so beautiful, but I told you I've got to get rid of some of it because it will just keep proliferating. And I don't know, once I thought Alma should not probably get rid of all of her larkspur because it was so beautiful. But I'm beginning to see why a person would do that, because it just becomes invasive after a while. It just proliferates and continues on until it's more than you can handle. So I cleaned out this area right here where it was a lot of it here, and then back this way you can tell that there's an empty hole right there. But I'll find something else to go there besides the larkspur. And so I'm thinking maybe I might get some of the Nikki phlox, which is also a pretty purple or navy blue, purple color, which would just kind of fill in that color scheme for me. But I'm not sure about that because I don't know if it would bloom at the same time that my daylilies do, and I really do want those to be blooming together if possible. And then also there's this little plant, this little salvia, that also has a pretty purple color, and so I may just put some more of it over in that area. We'll see. I'll just kind of have to work with it and see what I end up doing. I did get some seed planted in my blue pots. Some of it is coming up. I can tell that there are some marigolds here, so I'll just kind of have to wait and see how these turn out too, and if I want to continue on with that or try something else. I really want to just yellow mums, but so far I haven't had that to get started yet. I had them in here this year, but they did not get started well enough to come back in this little pot, and so they may not would, so I'm trying the marigolds. This one is just a volunteer zinnia from last year, and they ended up turning out to be more of the orange than they did a yellow, so I may end up taking that one out at a later date. And we also, after the birthday party, I told you we did get a different car, and then my husband and I both had to see an optometrist. So, and we have different optometrists because he does his through the VA. But anyway, that's what we did, and that took some time out of the garden. So I have got to get back into gardening mode and get some of this done. I really wanted to get it done, but then when we started the other stuff, I knew it had to be done too, so I just kind of let this go for a bit, and it was a good time to let it go if there ever is one, because God did go ahead and let me have he watered for me. We had good rains during that time, so I was very lucky. I'm seeing a snake right here. I don't really like snakes. I don't know if you do, but I just as soon never see one. And this is one of 3 bags of larkspur that I did go ahead and take out, and I took it out of this area right here. And just now I finished trimming a few more roses, including this one right here. And I also wanted to tell you that I did get all of this west row done before we started doing our running around that we had to do that made me leave the garden. But I did get all of these roses, peonies, iris, everything that needed to be clipped down, tidied up. So I have all of this done. And I got several of my little pots changed out from the cocoa liner to regular pots. This one was not one of them. It's one I planned to do today, but I did not get to that either. So it is so hot out here today. As far as it's not really hot, it's so humid, and it's making me all sweaty, and just, you know how you feel when you're out in the garden all dirty. But look at this little beauty. So the daylilies are blooming, and summer will soon be full force here. But I'm getting a lot of stuff done. I still don't know if I'll get all the stuff done that I would like to before the real heat sets on, because I plan on just doing mostly watering then, but I know there will be things that will absolutely get out of hand, and I'll have to trim some things back and do some things in the garden, but we'll just see how it goes, and I'm going to try to get as much of it as I can done before it gets too hot. And though I have most all of my planting done, I will look at the sales one more time. What I like to do actually is to put something in every pot as soon as I like to finish up all the cleanup before I start putting in little seedlings and little nursery plants, because they have to be really taken care of until they get their little root down, and then they'll just kind of go right along with the rest of the garden. So I like to do that and get that done first, and then I like to go back, and anytime the ones that did not make it, there will almost inevitably be some that won't make it, and I'll have to go back and refill all those, and then the sales will come on. And I found this pretty little orangey begonia, and I put it in here. I thought it would just set all that purple off that's in this little pot, and because my bacopa died out of here, it just never did catch on and go for some reason. But I found another little bacopa plant. Let's see, this one is the fan flower, but there is a little bacopa plant in there too. Don't know if it has any more than just maybe that one little bloom to show you, and I don't know if it will take off and go or if it will sit there and fizzle out too, but I'm hoping it'll take off and go, and it's getting some good rain to rain it in and strengthen it and give it a good chance. So I think this purple will be beautiful, and then this little splash of orange. There's actually two splashes of orange there. Let me come over here where you can see this one. So when they grow up and all that purple and orange, I think it's going to look great. And then when I'm fairly satisfied that I have something in every pot ready to try to make it go, if there's still some sales going, I will look for the bigger plants, the bigger pots of plants that I don't normally get already that big. I'll start some from seeds or from little nursery starts that they have, but the bigger ones I usually don't deal with until they have the sales, and then when they do have those sales, if I can catch something that I've been wanting, I will get that, and that's just kind of my way of doing things. I've just kind of done it that way until I realize that's just a good way to do it. And I noticed the other day I'm about to get a pink on here too, but it hasn't quite opened. I think that pink and yellow mandevilla is going to look pretty too. So you just have to keep an eye on everything and see if you're out here looking. That's one of my favorite times, is just to finally relax in the garden and just be looking around and see that something would look better if it had something else right beside it, or some other color, or just those types of things. But I did change out this. It was a cocoa liner, now it's just a regular pot, and I put this little clay pot right down inside it, because I will take this spike inside in September and keep it through the winter if I can. I've done that before, and I kept it for several years before it fizzled out for me. And then I put little impatiens around it, which I think it looks great. And I put a few little impatiens around this little strawberry drop coleus. And I may have already shown you, but I did also find these little fairies when I was looking for my little replacement for my boy and girl. So I have these little cherubs, and then I also found these. I thought I would use these, but I like these better as they're just put in the same pot and facing each other, and hopefully that'll all look pretty as it grows up and grows together, and hopefully will be a pretty showing for the rest of the season. Then basically after the sales are all over and the nurseries have closed up for the season, I won't quite stop looking. I'll keep a eye out anytime I go to Walmart or any of the places that have a little nursery too, and just see what they have. It may be something I'll want to add to my garden. But basically, the most of my planting part of the gardening is usually done in June. My optometrist did tell me that I need cataract surgery on both eyes, so I will probably also be doing that sometime in the latter part of this month. And of course, that's a little bit scary, but I'm going to just hope and pray that it will all go well and just be all the better for having it done. Today is June the 7th, and we got more rain, and some of my orange, this is the largest one that I have in my collection of daylilies, and it's a spider daylily, and it's such a beautiful orange and looks so good with anything blue or purple. And I wanted to show you some of these because yesterday they were all budded out but not bloomed out, but now they're in full bloom and looking great. And the verbena in my brother's little pot, the one he fixed up for me before he passed away, and he did a bunch of painting for me and for my garden while he was dealing with cancer. That's a great brother for you. And he wanted to be remembered by some of this work that he did for me. So I'm showing it, and you can remember him along with me today. Look what a little beauty this little coleus is turning out to be. Now that it's growing up, it's putting on more color and looking great. When I come outside, I just see so much that I want to do, but I have literally just worn myself out trying to do all the things that we did this last week, and just do a few things in the garden along with it. So I'm going to try to hold off and not try to do a whole lot more today in the garden. But soon I want to get back here and get things done. And we got more rain last night, and we have another chance tonight, I think, of having some hail. Oops, that was a wasp. But of having some hailstorms. So I hope we don't get that. I still could use rain. I'm always wanting the rain. Unless, of course, it got to where it was just causing erosion or something destructive. I like the rain. I still want to get this changed out. I will do these things. I must remind myself that I really will do them because I've wanted to so many days and not got it done. But it's still in my plans. And I still need to come out and get some more of the larkspur up before it goes to seed. That's my plan too. You'll get to see the daylilies for quite some time. You can see there's still so many of them left to bloom. They're just now beginning their bloom. I planted a couple of castor beans over here, so I'm trying to keep an eye on them. I hope they sprout and come up and do well for me. Last year I had a rodent to uproot mine, and it, even though it didn't eat it or totally destroy it, I pressed it back down in the ground, but it just never got very big. And it looks like perhaps that rodent has been here because this is the pretty yarrow, and instead of standing up straight, it's laying down. I don't think that's just because of the rains. It may be, but I think it's probably due to a rodent running underneath it again. I also see that I have a coneflower in bloom. And I see that I need to do some liquid edging just real soon before things get over into the garden. And the butterfly weed is looking good right now. Also noticed yesterday when I was telling you that I want to change these pots out and put catnip in them and set them up a little on a plant stand, I noticed that some of my zinnias are beginning to bloom. There's always something to see in the garden, and there's always something to do in the garden. I still want to take these lilies that have naturalized out and transfer some of my other lilies, maybe over here, or maybe just leave a space for in case I do find something on those last sales I was talking about earlier to put in my garden. And these little lilies are blooming today. Another daylily. They must have liked that rain last night because several of them opened. Of course, this is another one of the pots that I replaced the cocoa liner out of. And I'm thinking it looks good. I love this pretty white yarrow. See, this one's standing up and it got rained on, so that's probably another sign that a rodent has been around there in the back where I was showing it just a little bit ago. These are a couple more of the on sale plants that I found, and they look great. And the bells of Ireland are coming up and blooming everywhere right now. Of course, this is the lace cap hydrangea. I don't know if you remember how, well, I'll use the word ratty because that's the one I'm thinking of, but this is a diamond frost, and I kept it inside, and it just didn't like being brought out. It kind of looked weak and a little bit wilted even, but you can tell it has. I told you they usually just strengthen up and decide they like it here, and it looks like that's what has happened in this case, so that's great. Whoa, look how much this little lipstick pink impatient has filled out with the rain. It's just loved it. That's one reason I love the rain, and I just loved it. I love a rainy day or a rainy night. But I love it that the plants respond to it so wonderfully well too. Look, even this little licorice plant is trailing down a whole lot more than it was when I showed it to you just a while ago. So things are looking good, which is wonderful. But I am going to need to go inside, and I'm going to have a little bit of rest before I plow right back into everything, which I will probably do if I can at all. That's what I will do. I may even have to pull up some of these bells of Ireland to keep them from having so many seed next year, but I do love them, and it's just fun to see them out here, know that they come back, volunteer on their own. That's a wonderful thing. And I don't know if I've shown you in a while that I finally found that, yes, I do have some poppies coming up here. And so I just wanted to show you a few more of them that they're growing. You can really see how much they're growing. Oh my goodness, I did not know that this one has a bud on it, so we'll soon find one of the colors that I managed to get a poppy going. That'll be great. I can't wait till they all bloom, and I'm hoping they all come back volunteer next year too in this little spot, which could happen. And oh my, when I first showed you the 4 little scraggly tomatoes that I purchased, I had no idea they would ever look this great. And I noticed yesterday that this little tomato has little tomatoes on it. Just look at this one. It has really taken off and gone too. I hope I get actual tomatoes, because sometimes I just get pretty plants with no tomatoes. But wouldn't that be great? I can see that I do have some bloom. Please be sure to like and to subscribe to the channel.